Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You have reached the charge room tonight at 7 p.m. on a Thursday. And what happens at 7 p.m. on a Thursday? The men's locker room. So, ladies, we are always asking, where is my king, right? Because I know that's the question. Where is my king? My king is here because I know my king is here. Because I asked for my king, I asked God for my king, and I know God's going to bless me with my king. So I'm not even worried, right? But the men asked me in the men's locker room, they said, Ilyasa, where is my queen? So guess what? We have a question, but they have a question too. So tonight, this is the men's platform. We have a panel of men who share from their hearts, from their souls. And when I tell you, we break through week after week after week. We are breaking down barriers every single week. We are healing and we are healing together because this is the charge room and I am Minister Charge. Hi, everyone. My name is Ilyasa Simpson. I am your host for tonight. And tonight we have a special topic because this is part two. The question was, when is it time that we are going to take accountability for our behavior in our relationships, our love relationships? When is it time we're going to step up to the plate and say, game over, let's do this, baby? When is it time that we are going to come together separately but working in unity as one? When is it time? So when was that turning point for you? And last week we expressed ourselves, our feelings, our thoughts, our experiences, our traumatic experiences, our depression, everything we was going through in our lives. We shared them and it was deep, it was touching, and it was powerful. We are here to show love, demonstrate love, and at the end of the day, just because we may not agree on the same topic, we can still love each other. Love is here. Black love is here. We have to welcome each other. Last night on the women's platform, Where's My Queen? We have that on every Wednesday. We were discussing how was it possible that women were taught to be independent from a man always. We went through history from slavery of all the social, emotional breakdowns that separate a man from a woman always. So when do we get a chance to never have a barrier between us? When is it time that we can actually sit down and learn each other, sit down and properly listen to each other, sit down and have patience with each other, sit down and actually get to know each other? When could that happen? It can't happen if we separate it. So we are coming together here at the charge room to try to find solutions, to bring awareness, because we have to begin it with us, right? So we want to begin and end with us. And if every week we can touch one person, if every week we can reach one person, and every week we do it, it's 52 weeks in a year, right? If we can touch one person every time we air, we are on air twice a week. So if we can touch two people every week, and it's 52 weeks in a year, we can touch 104 people, right? We have done more than enough. We have done more than enough because we are human beings. We desire love, not just touch, love, not just intimacy, love, not just physical, love. We all deserve love. We all deserve to be happy, right? Our goal is to have love. And The goal is to love ourselves first so we can do a better job at loving each other. But I have a favor. Everybody, I have a favor tonight. I have a favor because I would like to for no one to ever miss an episode of men's the men's locker room. Not one time. If you missed it before, I never want you to miss it again. So I'm asking everybody if you can pick up your phones and go to YouTube and type in the Charge Room Inc. Right? So we type in the Charge Room Inc. Go to the Charge Room Inc. and subscribe to the channel so we can build our subscription channel and never miss an episode again. And when you subscribe, you will always be notified of when we are on air. So you could just click that button and just be on with us, and you can comment and like and listen, and let us encourage you. Let us motivate you. Let us touch you in a way where we can help you and we could all heal together. So again, tonight we are here. We're excited tonight. Our panel is ready, and there's even more coming on. So I'm going to bring our panel up, and we're going to begin our discussion, and are going to be asked tonight, when is time that we become accountable for our behavior within our relationships? When is it time? So I'm going to bring up everybody one by one. Tonight we have King Sean. Tonight we have King Herman.
No.
Tonight we have Queen Mel. Tonight we have Queen Tanya. Okay. Wise, King Father Wise. I have Queen Angela. More difficulty here. 1 second. Everybody on the screen. My stream wants to play with my emotions, but the devil is a liar. Okay.
We here, y'all. So we here.
Okay, everybody. We're going to back this up and we're going to start it all over. So,
Oh, just me and Mel? Wow. Hi, Mel.
I guess you have some internet issues, man. We've been dealing with that all day. I get it.
Yeah, I know. I've been from 2 to 6 straight Zoom in classroom today.
Oh man, it's exhausting. It's draining. It really is.
Yeah. No, I'm vitamin up because just like you, I have the same thing.
Oh, with diabetes? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I could be doing a better job of taking care of myself. So I'm trying to make a point to just, even if I just gotta go out, take a walk or something, try to get a little exercise in every day. And definitely, the carbs. The carbs is the killer. It's the bread, man, and the sweets and stuff. It's hard, but could always be worse the way I see it.
Yeah. Well, one day I shared my story, so I've been through some battles. Still walking.
I can imagine, man. You say you teach as well, right?
Yeah, so I'm an academic supervisor of the Youth Advocates. I taught from 2000 to about 2011 actual classroom. So now I'm in charge of the Youth Advocates that go inside the classroom.
Oh,
yeah,
that's cool.
Tanya, Sean.
Oh, great.
Hey, wow, yeah. All right, we rocking now. Where y'all at? What's up, man?
Peace.
Uh-oh, you said peace.
How are beautiful people doing? What's going on?
How are you?
All right. Here come Eliasa. Hey, Queen.
Yes.
Hi, Mel.
Hi, how are you? Hi, Miss Angela. How you doing?
All right, because I was like,
yo,
Devil is
you see me, right?
All right.
I'm sorry.
Hi, Mel.
Listen, I don't know what that was about. You weren't trying to team up on nobody.
Oh, no, not at all. No, check this out right now. That's the hi, Mel. Like, hi. I'm not teaming up on nobody. Yo, that's real. Like, that's for real. Chocolate girls. Like, I just hi, Mel. That's
got you. Say no more. Say no more.
That's the kryptonite, B. Like, I'll be like, yo, whatever you say.
You know what?
I ain't arguing with nobody. You think I'm gonna argue with Mel? Nah, I got your back, Mel. Go ahead, say what you want to. I got your back.
I just took it as a very pleasant greeting. No problem. I'm here.
Hi, and
okay, everybody, we're gonna move forward because we're now working well now.
And time.
So tonight, again, we're here to discuss because last week the men went, and so we're gonna ask the women, when is it time that we take accountability for our actions in a relationship? When was the turning point? When did you realize that life wasn't working out the way you thought it was going to work out for you, and you took that pivotal point to say, okay, it's time to shift to something else? When was it time that you felt that you took that pill of maturity to say, okay, I am here and I want something different? Was it time that? So Mel, since you are new to the panel today, you can express yourself first.
I think that time where I had to really stop myself and say, like, I gotta take accountability. Like, first of all, I mean, there's different ways in which I've done that, but I think I'm gonna speak on the current relationship that I'm in. So when I came into the current relationship that I'm in, I came in with a lot of baggage. And by baggage, I mean, like, I had a lot of issues from the previous relationship I was in, a lot of trauma, and I didn't deal with it. Mm-hmm. And I brought that trauma into the relationship and didn't realize that not only I was impacted, but I was impacting the person that I was with. And I would take things out on him, and it got to the point where I started acting out in ways that I myself, when I went to sleep at night, didn't feel good about. And I think what bothered me the most is, like, if I don't feel proud about what I'm doing and I don't feel strong about the actions that I'm taking, forget everybody else for a second. I got to work on me. So I think when it's time to take accountability is when you realizing that you stop recognizing who you are. It's Did everybody hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
My computer's bugging out. I just want to make sure. I've been on this thing all day. I just realized, like, I wasn't really proud of my actions, of who I was. And, I know sometimes we tend to blame the men a lot and stuff because of stuff that goes on in the relationship. But when you start realizing that you're not really who you are supposed to be. You're not acting the ways that you're supposed to be acting. Not even so much like I'm gonna leave the relationship, but I gotta work on me. I gotta heal me. So I had to kind of make it a point where, like, you know, I gotta take some time and like work on development. People talk about, you know, personal development all the time. I have to really take some time to like go get some counseling and see about what it is that I was doing wrong instead of blaming the other person. What kind of trauma was I bringing to the relationship as a result of things I haven't dealt with? And fortunately, I was able to do that in the current relationship I'm in now, and it, you know, things are working out, praise God. But I think if I hadn't taken that time to say I'm messing up and I got to heal and fix me, I could have really thrown something beautiful away if I was, you know, not gonna take accountability. Like everybody does take accountability for their actions. Everybody.
That was very good, and well stated. Because a lot of times there's people that make when they participate in a relationship, I'm gonna say they don't participate in a fair way, and they play the blame, and it's everyone else's fault but not yours.
Right.
When you are the main contributor to maybe non-communication, because women have a tendency when they get upset with their male counterpart, and they'll ban them like from sex, like, oh, you didn't do this, so I'm not giving you none, you know.
Right.
like you're not showing anyone, and you're not proving anything. Really, you're hurting yourself when you do something like that. Or, you know, I'm not cooking up for you tonight, or I'm not washing your clothes, or I'm stealing your phone, and they play tricks with, you know, around the house. You're hurting yourself. You're hurting yourself when you do that. You know, start arguments when there's no reason to argue. You know, you could always talk it out. You can always talk it out. Be mature about it. You don't have to yell, scream, holler, curse, make all kind of name calling. Like, some people really play the attention seeking role, I'm gonna call it.
Yeah.
With that, thinking that they're taking the upper hand, and oh, I'm a show it. You're really showing yourself, because you're pushing him away from you more so than you're bringing him closer to you. So if we as women don't take accountability of how we participate in our relationships, and we think how we behave towards our gentlemen, we lose out. And then when he goes and cheats because we didn't say what we should have said, or in a tone that we should have spoke, how, you know, gently instead of screaming and yelling, you know, everything matters. Your posture matters, and how you present yourself to your gentleman. So excellent, Mel. Angela or Tanya, which one who wants to go first?
I mean, I think I always took some accountability for all of my relationships, to be truthful. That may sound funny, but I did, and I do. Maybe I take too much accountability. That could be the issue as well. Because if you take too much accountability and you're not allowing the man to see where he needs to grow as well as yourself, but I'm talking about my relationship. And if I believe that I took on too much accountability, that maybe I did not give that person enough opportunity to grow, to see where they could have met me a little bit more or a little bit differently. So I guess maybe me taking on their accountability, I kind of stifled the growth of the relationship, and it wasn't a constant flow of communication, a constant flow of two people evolving together. You're evolving individually, but you're also evolving together to create a more stronger foundation and bond between yourself. I would say that that's probably something that I definitely did wrong, taking on more accountability in the relationship. And that has not proven to be beneficial for me at all in any of my relationships, because I wind up taking on the weight of the pain and the burden of the relationship. So
I have a question for you. Do you, as you're speaking, what you're speaking, from what I'm hearing you, it sounds to me as like you're taking on his part that he may have been hurting you, as well as you maybe trying to comfort him into saying like, baby, it's okay, let's talk about it, but y'all are not really talking about it, and then y'all hug and keep going. It sounds like you're saying, I hear what you're saying, you're hurting me, but you're not allowing him to feel or understand or even be accountable of him hurting you.
Easy.
what? Yes,
It sounds like you're taking
that's correct. That's
the
correct.
whole rap by yourself.
Yes.
Like if he, right. So it's like, I understand you want to be loving, and I understand you want everything to be nice and smooth. But if a man has, I'm gonna say, committed a heart crime, because he's breaking your heart. So the man committed your heart crime, right? Is he understanding the type of pain that he is causing? Is he understanding that, like I'm causing her this pain, and I need to be accountable for causing her this pain, and let's talk about it. So you can want to love somebody, say, baby, it's okay, but it's really not okay, because every time you accept him and hug him and say, well, I know you did this, or I know you did that, but does he really know he did it? Is he accepting that he did it? Is he understanding that he is hurting you, and why does this behavior keep happening? Why is he being a repeat offender? So I'm just asking, because it sounds like he's robbing you of your joy in your heart, and
That is true.
You're allowing him to continue to be a repeat offender because you love him. You want everything nice. You want everything smooth. Like, love, to be in a disagreement is still love, because that's opportunity to agree to disagree, or an opportunity to talk about what challenges both in your feelings, in your emotions, in your thoughts, and your perceptions. That's allowed to be challenged.
Yes.
Because if you don't talk about it, you'll never know. You'll never learn each other. You wouldn't, he would, for him to keep continuing to be a repeat offender, it would be like, oh, I can do it because she's going to be okay with it. And then I'll wait a couple of months, buy her a little bit of stuff, and I'm going to come back and do it again. And then it's like he's taking a knife and he's just shifting the pain. So instead of him hurting the top of your heart, he's hurting the middle. He's hurting the left side. The next time he hit in the bottom, until he chisels your heart to split apart. So you can't allow someone to not take accountability of the behavior that they're constantly being a repeat offender to rob you of your joy. That's like You trying to burgle the whole temple here, right? So be careful in how you receive someone, because you deserve happiness, you deserve love, and be so empathic that you just take on everybody's weight. Everyone needs to be accountable for their weight. Everyone, right? Queen Angela.
Peace. I think that's. I do want to say this. I think that's a really good question about accountability. I think for me, the biggest part was knowing the difference between accountability and taking ownership. And I would confuse it going into the relationship. So I'm great at taking ownership, meaning the initiative and, showing up and being there. And, I would get to a point in the relationship where I didn't understand what was happening if it started going in a different direction, because it's not how I started or it's not how we started. And that was that ownership part. The accountability for me is the follow through. The accountability is the result. Like, how did I get here? And I would be at that place where I would look and like, well, this is not how it started, or this is not what's in my heart, or I couldn't understand how I would end up here. Like, how did the relationship get here? And it wasn't until I really had to look and really distinguish the difference and take ownership, the initiative part, and the accountability, which would be the result part. And I think for me, once I got to a point where I was so clear, so certain on what a healthy relationship looked like and how I needed to show up and what was important for me. See, I didn't know that it was important for me to feel appreciated, because I was always that person who I do, I give, and I want to make you happy. And I was so good at it that I had enough love in me for the both of us. So I never made it a requirement. And when it got to a point where I got clear on what was important to me, my core values, and I started aligning my relationship up with those core values when I don't see it somewhere in the middle, because in the beginning, everything is good. We got the wowsy woo-woos. I'm feeling you, you feeling me. And we're running off of the emotion alone. But at some point, when that fizzles out, you have the crux of the relationship, and you got to really look at who am I with, who did I chose, and who chose me. It's not easy, and you got decisions to make, and you can't find what you were feeling in the beginning. And for me, it was just saying, all right, this is not in alignment with what my core values are. I'm not getting out of this what I know I want and what I know I've defined for myself. The only part about it that's hard is that it keeps you single for a long time. It keeps you real single for a long time. Because when you know you want oranges, you're not going to let anybody sell you apples. And they can tell you, this is the best apple on the planet. Like, everybody who knows me, they know I like black-seeded watermelon. That's my big black-seeded watermelon. So I'm never going to allow anyone to give me the seedless watermelon ever again, because I make it so clear. And I'm so clear that that's what I want when people bring me gifts of watermelon. They only bring me black-seeded watermelon. And I say that to say, in my relationship, if I know that I need to feel appreciated, no, it's a need for me. Like, it's a requirement. If I'm not feeling that, I'm not going to function right. I need growth in a relationship. If I don't feel like we're growing, then that's a problem for me, and I cannot function in it. And I need to feel it. I need to see the other person growing also. But like, growth is so big for me. If I don't feel it, I get real uncomfortable. And it wasn't until I got really clear on that, then I started taking accountability and really, and I started to shape the outcome of my relationship. And again, it makes for, a long span of being single for a long time. You just kind of like, okay, you sure you want to keep these core values up? But it is what it is. But it was a lot of bumping my head against that brick wall and arguing with that stop sign. That stop sign said stop, clear as day, 4 letters, STOP. But I would just keep going because I had this want and this desire in my heart to make it work and to make it right. And I know, again, I'm taking ownership for my actions and what I want and all of this. And I'm just like, I didn't have the accountability part. When you got that part down, it gives you permission to say no to what's not vibing well with you. If it don't resonate, and I'm good, I'm like, no, thank you, I'm good. And I just want to say one last part. I think that's when I realized that I was the prize. The moment I truly realized that I was the prize, I mean, intellectually we know it, we did it, but when you really feel it, you start to feel different, you move different, and you love differently, and you don't accept anything less. Nope. For what? I'm done.
Well, tonight I'm going to participate.
And brother,
I want to participate because I'm a woman on the panel, and I can only speak because I'm a woman. I'm not going to speak on a man's point of view, right? So with me, my self-esteem was extremely low for many years. So it took me practicing self-development, self-love, self-care to understand that I have value, to know my worth. Despite it happened at a young age, I think it made it more easier for me to continue on in my 30s, 40s, and 50s. A standard. My parents raised us with a standard. And in the back of my mind, I had it, but at the same time, my self-esteem was low. And my self-esteem was low because I came from a domestic violence household. So I really didn't know my place, because when you're hiding from the noise, I used to lock myself in my room and draw or do my hair. I would braid my hair. So as this is happening, I'm channeling my energy, but at the same time, I just didn't know my worth. I knew I was talented. I knew I was intelligent, but I just did not understand or know my worth. I thought because I was a product of my environment that if a man would hit me, that's love. It's not love. So I was the type, because I was so feisty, you only gonna hit me but one time. I know how that feels. I had enough. You're only gonna scream at me but one time. I'm gonna let you slide. I'm gonna give you that pass, that one time. But after that one time, I know how it feels. Okay, because I'm learning you in this process, and as I'm learning you, I'm understanding. I have a better understanding of myself and where I stand, because who you are. I have the ability to say, well, I want this man that beats me, or I want to be with the person that does not want to beat me. So I would make that choice. And I would make it quick, because like I said, you ain't going to do it but one time. Because after that, I'm fighting. Because now I know. So it's a process. Like I said, it happened real quick. And it happened when I was young. So in my 20s, I went through my trials. But I learned quickly, because I'm not going to be that low man totem pole. I'm going to be that punching. You're not going to at me or raise your voice at me, because it triggers me from me being a kid when my father used to raise his voice at my mother. It turns me into a different beast. So I'm always very careful on how I approach people, because I need to know where you are, so where I can understand and know I need to be. because I don't want to trigger myself to respond in a way that I had to fight for my life to keep me safe mentally and emotionally. So I'm very careful on how I am with people because I have love in my heart to feed you love because I want love. I want to feed you how I want to be treated. So with me feeding you in a way where you are feeling that I love you, there's not anyone that I encounter that does not feel the warmth in my soul for you just being a genuine human being that God created, because that's just who I am. If you come to my home, you feel the love that's in my home, because that's the love I have in my home, and that's the love I give, and that's the love I want you to feel, because I have love in my heart. I want love. I'm going to give love. However, if you feel you want to treat me any kind of way, because what people have a tendency to do is they will see something in you that they cannot have or touch and get an attitude or develop some type of posture that does not agree with your cipher. And then they will have you think it's you that's the problem. But it's not you. It's they have a problem with you being who you are. And they don't have the courage enough to ask you or give you a compliment or share love and build with each other. And it turns into a cackle or hackle or a petty, delicate envy, someone that is challenged, and they keep a distance between you on purpose. And then they act like you can't see them. Oh, baby, I see you. You are very clear. I just choose to take the high road and ignore you. Be petty in your own little way. That's not what I'm about. I'm about love. I'm not about hate. I'm about forgiveness. If I did something to you and I know I did it, I'm gonna apologize. If I offended you and I don't know it and you carry an attitude with me, I'ma feel your attitude. But if you don't come to me and say, Ilyasa, you offended me when you said A, B, and C, there's nothing I could do about that. Because you're not bringing it to my attention, because I sure enough don't know what I did. But you do. You know, I could have been minding my own business, doing my thing, but evidently I offended you some kind of way. I don't know what I did. Because if I knowingly know and consciously know what I did, I'm going to apologize to you. I'm going to say, oh, I'm not in a good mood today, because I'm very present all the time. I walk in my present all the time. I walk in my truth all the time. So I'm taking accountability of who I am as a person, because I know me. I know me best. But I always want to give love because I want love given to me. I'm always a hug, kissy, I love you person, because I've always been that way. Despite where I came from. My father always did show some type of love, but it just wasn't regular. It was a little different. But I knew from the result of where I was, I didn't want to be that. So I'm going to say overcompensate sometimes with the effort to give love, because I want love. So I learned from an early age to step up to be accountable, because it was I identified what I did not want in a relationship immediately. I identified a minute to learn value. But once I learned my value came the confidence. So the confidence is definitely on high because I know my worth. I know my value. I know what I want. And Angela said, if you have oranges, and someone tried to present the apple like it's an orange, you know the difference between an orange and an apple. And you want to stand firm on, I want oranges. And that's where I stand firm. I stand firm on who I am. I love who I am. I love who I am from the inside out, not from the outside in. I walk with a humble spirit. I walk with a loving heart. And I walk with the spirit of forgiveness. So I take accountability on all levels. As a queen, I share love as a queen. And I live on it. So you gentlemen, you heard us tonight. Let's talk about how you feel about us sharing our accountability.
Who wants to start? Herman, Father Y.
Okay, Sean, you
Okay. Well, as I shared last week,
somebody start because we only got 20
Okay.
minutes.
As I shared last week, and I'll share it again this week, you take accountability as soon as you take the responsibility of getting into a relationship. And that accountability goes both ways. You got to be accountable on what you are offering. You got to be accountable on what it is you're wanting to receive. And you have to be clear and honest with yourself. And hopefully the person will be honest with you. Often, what happens is the honesty is not there. Whether it's accountability for your actions or their actions, if in fact you're not able to embrace when you're wrong, and that goes for both men and women, then you'll never be able to speak the word accountability or embrace the word accountability. And often that happens. A lot of people say it. Unfortunately, I realized last week in some of the things that I've encountered that men have a tendency to better receive criticism constructively from other men, and women have a tendency to better receive constructive criticism from other women. Unfortunately, I can say something to a woman and she not receive it, whereas if another woman told her that, she might embrace it differently. And it's the same way with men. Men can hear something from their woman and would not embrace it, but another man said, nah, you on some bullshit. And then all of a sudden, he's hearing what's being said. But you got to be able to embrace it from the other person. And as I say yesterday, we have to talk with one another and not let it transition into talking at one another. And then at one another is when you're not being respectful to what the person is saying, so you're not listening.
Sean's right. When you first step into something, you're taking accountability for it. Just hands down. That's just how I am. Now, sometimes it does get a little twisted because you can see certain things, and there are certain stop signs sometimes in the beginning. Because of that, I call it the puppy love stage. It does get overlooked. But then when it steps up again, it's like, okay, now you have to look at it happened. What did I do? How did I respond? And then how can I communicate my point effectively when it comes to that? And taking accountability for as long as you took the initiative to more than one way, try to communicate, I feel you took that accountability, you know, and you did your best, and that's all you can ever ask. Sometimes things do go left, you know, but these are things like if you're watching and every day you're talking, you kind of can get a sense of when sometimes it sneaks up on you. Sometimes some people are good at hiding who they really are, or something deep happens to trigger, and then it comes out, and you have to deal with it. And it's okay to say, "I'm sorry, I apologize." It's okay to to really like open up if that's who like I said, you want to be treated as, you want someone to treat you as you would treat them.
And can I just add one more thing? Realize this: accountability is not always living up to someone else's expectation. And that's something we have to take accountability for as well, because expectation often leads to disappointment. And if you have an expectation from someone and they don't live up to your expectation, don't feel always that they're not being accountable for what it is you expected. They just didn't understand or might not have given you what you expected. And you can discuss that and possibly learn how to give that to one another. But often we don't get what we expected and feel that a person isn't being accountable for what it is that they're doing, when in fact they're not doing anything. They're just not understanding that that's what you expect.
Right. Father Wise?
Yo, sometimes accountability and I'm sorry and all that other stuff, sometimes it just ain't enough, right? And that could be my expectations of it. It could be my expectations of it. But check this out. I'm one of those people, and you know me forever, right? I'm not the most forgiving person, period. That's one of my flaws, is that I don't know how to forgive and let go, especially when I think you violated me. Matter of fact, let me change that. When I know for a fact that you violated me, you gave a half-ass I'm sorry or a half-ass accepted accountability, and it just don't work for me. As far as me, like, I've been accepting accountabilities for my actions my whole life, right? And I can always say, even going back to school, getting suspended, because I was always the one to be like, yeah, I did it. And even with going to jail, and then going to prison, and then going to college, like, I accepted responsibility right then and there when I got sentenced, and not just because the judge said so. It's because I took responsibility for my actions. I knew what I did, and I was just like, yo, you know what? I did it, and that's my look at everything. Because the bottom line, when I accept responsibility and accountability for my actions, good, bad, or indifferent, I really don't worry about it after that. If you get mad, or you ain't mad, or you accept it or reject it, or whatever the case, whatever you're going to do with it, I already did it. So you can get mad and want to fight. It don't make me no never mind. I'd rather walk away. But if you want to stand your ground or argue about it, fuss about whatever, we can do that too. Like, I'm one of them. I'm just one. I don't know. There's something definitely wrong with my ass. I know that already, right? So I ain't worried. That's because I've been working on accountability. Right. I've been working on me for the last 17 years, and I'm still pulling the onions back. I'm still crying, and I'm still doing therapy, and still taking medication, and still dealing with all types of stuff, right? But I don't have no problem with saying none of that, because the bottom line is, what you gonna do to me? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. You gonna walk about it, have a drink about it, talk about it, think about it, and if all other fails, you better walk about it. And that's it. That's just how
Well,
I see it.
I feel that again, I commend you because there's so many people that are looking on that will never do what you're doing. They will never talk about it. They will never walk in their truth. However, on the flip side of it, it's like you're saying I take accountability for who you are. However, on the inside, within your core, you're still hurting. And also, you have the opportunity to stop.
I don't know. I got a severe case of
Let me tell you something. K Wise is on here.
Yeah.
I will tell y'all something. K Wise is not, that's why he's not on here tonight. And he's also on here commenting, right? So he's commenting. He said, you know, he's watching all of us from the bedroom, but he's telling me that tell Father Wise he needs a hug from him. So K Wise wants to give you a hug, Father Wise, because you need a hug right now.
Okay, I'll call him later. I don't want no damn hug. I'm a man, damn it. I don't need no hugs. I'm a man, damn it.
And you know what's interesting? Like I did last week.
You know, no, because it's all about love. It's all about love.
Tell him I said, give me 6 feet. Coronavirus.
We have to give love to one another, but knock it off. So you, however, Father Wise, you have to receive love too. It's not just about how you feel. You have to receive it. Because if somebody wants to love you, you are putting so many interferences and static in the middle. We can't give you a hug. See, Father Wise wanted to give you a hug, and you were like, come on, I don't need no hug. I'm a man. You do need a hug. We all need hugs. You like giving hugs, right? If you like giving hugs, you gotta receive love too. So you have to be a receiver and not just a giver, because you're still hurting yourself. Because one day you're gonna expect something from that person, and because you keep saying, "Oh, I'm giving her this, and I'm giving her that, and I'm giving her this," but you're not giving her the opportunity to love you back, and you receive it.
Can I say one thing?
Because you keep throwing it away.
I'm not, I don't, real talk, like, I don't expect nothing from nobody, right? Expectations
but I'm saying, hold on, though. I hear you. But sometimes you have to shift, baby. Sometimes you have to take your rules and regulations, put them on freeze sometimes, and just say, let me receive this hug from this person. Because maybe you don't realize after you get in that hug that you really needed that hug.
That's my core value.
Sometimes.
I'm good. My core value makes me good. Like, I'm actually, believe it or not, right? Like, I'm actually good with where I am right now. Like, it may not seem like it to everybody else. But I'm just saying, I don't expect nothing from nobody, because expectations is like running into a house that's been set on fire, man. Yeah. and when you don't expect nothing from nobody, when you don't expect nothing, like, you can't get hurt. People can't disappoint you. People can't let you down. People can't trample on you. You can't do nothing.
Well, Father Wise, I hear what you're saying, and I, like I said, I am the same way. I feel, once I say something and I take accountability, you can love me, like me, hate me, it doesn't really matter to me. But what it is that the difference between you and I is I do forgive. And you need to possibly embrace that somewhat more is what everybody's kind of saying, because you're saying you don't forgive, and I can understand that, but it's not healthy.
Yeah.
It's what everybody's trying to share with you.
Healthy.
It is protection. It is
Healthy
protection.
for who? I'm just saying healthy enough for who?
What it is, you're afraid of being hurt again.
No, okay.
And you got to embrace that honesty.
Yeah.
You're afraid of being hurt again, and that's fine, because we all sometimes become afraid of being hurt. But you can't deny and sit there and lie and say, I'm not afraid of it. You just said it. I ain't trying to get hurt by nobody. So on.
But I'm just saying that's with expectation. I'm not, like, the bottom line as far as getting hurt. Like, I'll be real with you, right? I have, like, there is nothing left to hurt, right? So I'm good. Like, there's nothing, like, I really say that, and people think like, oh my goodness, this poor guy, he needs this, he needs that. I'm just, there's nothing left to be hurt here. Nothing. Like, there's nothing no one can do to me mentally, physically. There's nothing no one can do to me.
Are you finished growing?
Say that again.
Are you finished growing?
Am I finished growing? We never finished growing.
Just work with me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take that as a no, right?
Yeah, we never finished growing.
So if you're not finished growing, is it possible that as you continue to grow, that your consciousness will evolve and you will develop a new personality?
Well, I'm 53 years old right now, so I'm pretty much set in my ways. But hopefully,
you evolve. Growth is one direction. You can't. If you're set, then you're not growing.
Okay.
Do you agree? Yes or no?
I agree that I'm set, and I'm probably not growing at this moment.
Right. Okay. So then, if you stay where you are, well, first of all, I'm listening to you. Trauma does that to you. Trauma will shut you down, and trauma will build that wall around you. And with the place that you're speaking from is trauma. When you say that I'm good, that's it. That's trauma doing that. Trauma doesn't allow you to see beyond your wall. If you're going to continue to grow and you're going to continue to evolve, then you're going to start to expose new dimensions of your character, your true self. As you start to evolve and become a better version of yourself, that part of you has not been hurt. So for you to say there's nothing left, that's impossible as long as you are a living being. There's always more. And if you will allow yourself to grow, then you will expand. And then you're going to expand your consciousness. You're going to expand new levels and dimensions of who you are. So to say that there's nothing left, you shut yourself off. And if you shut yourself off, then you need to change your name. You should no longer be called what you call yourself. Just call yourself Stunted Growth. Because everything about your name, Father, civilization, growth, wise, wisdom, having all that knowledge, wisdom is the application of knowledge. I am God. I am that I am, Nuku, Allah, God. All of that is infinite. Nothing about your name says sedentary. Nothing about your name says stand still. Nothing about it. So I'm saying for you to say that it is not the strongest of the species who survives. It's the ones who are the most adaptable to change. So I hear you, and you exuding all of this strength and all of this power. But if you stay where you are, then you are not adaptable to change. And you will continue to keep that wall up. And I'm telling you, you are robbing yourself of the experience. And the beauty about, or the tough part about a wall is, we build these walls because we've experienced so much out there. I'm closing a wall. But when you close the door on everyone else, you shut yourself in and you stunt your growth. It will not be until you get to a place where you feel safe enough. Because whether you choose to acknowledge it or not, beloved, you need to feel safe. And you need to feel safe around the people who you bring in your cipher. You need to feel safe about the people who you choose to talk to and the people who you choose to trust. You need to feel safe. And if as long as your safety is compromised or you feel any threat or violation of it, you're going to keep that door up. You're going to keep that wall up. But I will challenge you every day you say that you're done, there's nothing left. There's always something left to you.
In fairness, listening to you, he's saying there's nothing left, but at the same time, he also is saying right now. So he's aware of his current circumstances, and he's hearing everything we're saying and processing what we're saying. And I believe he understands as well, he's not as set in stone as he is relating to us. So, and just looking at him, and I shared that with him.
Absolutely, because he's a thinker.
And Father Wise, correct me if I'm wrong. Are you that set in stone, or are you just that way at this moment?
You already know.
You already know. Like say it, here it comes.
He's a thinker. He is a thinker, and he will sit and think.
I am a thinker.
He's a
So
yeah, I knew it was coming.
he's saying this.
No,
Get back.
right.
Get back.
You know I love you, right?
Get back.
You know I love you, right?
I love you more.
That's impossible.
Huh?
We all healing together, boo.
No, you know what?
We all healing together.
Sean said, "I'm sit. Don't get me wrong. Sean was right. I'm sitting here and I'm listening
I
to
don't have you
everybody.
wrong.
Right?
I
I'm
don't
listening.
have you wrong.
Oh, I'm listening to everybody, and I'm listening. I hear y'all. I'm comprehending, and I'm listening, right? And I get it, right? Am I set in stone? At this moment, I'm set in stone. And I've been set in stone at this moment. I'm set in stone with my wall and where it is and where it will stay until I feel the need to bring it down.
Do you want to be there?
Do I want to be
Do
there?
you want to be where you are?
I like where I am right now.
That's not what I'm asking you. And the
comfortable with being right now.
That's what it is.
That's what he's saying.
I just
You know
answered.
what? She said you're comfortable. I believe you're comfortable. And the problem with being in situations that we get used to, over time it becomes your new normal. And it just becomes your normal. But when it's your normal, when you do anything to deviate from it, it feels real uncomfortable. And even if the thing that you're trying to allow yourself to do is good for you and meaningful and beneficial, it still feels foreign to you. And my question to you is, do you want to be there? I understand you say you're good there, but is that where you want to be?
Right now?
Is that where you want to be?
Mm-hmm.
How does this serve you?
How does it serve me? I already said that. It's my wall is up. Wall is up. Guards in the tower. Catapults ready. Soldiers at the gate. Flaming moat.
So you just not ready. You just not
Okay,
ready.
Oh, damn. I gotta go. I gotta go.
Once again,
I love y'all. I gotta go.
in fairness, in fairness, listen to what the man is saying. He's being very honest. In fairness, listen to what he's saying. He's being honest. It ain't gonna change overnight. And it's not about somebody understanding it. It's not about someone understanding it. It's about someone embracing what he's saying. And listen to him. He's telling you where he is. Embrace it.
I'm
and
sorry.
if you want to help him,
Are you mistaken?
and if you want to help,
I'm not listening to him.
and if you want to help him, go where he is, and go to that wall and say, hey, knock on the wall and say, hey,
Sean,
can I come in?
Sean, can I interrupt you 1 second? 1 second, Sean. We embrace Father Wise
all day.
This is about love here. All day. We know where he is. We know exactly.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. We hear him. We embrace him all the time. He wouldn't even be here if we didn't love him. He wouldn't even be here if we don't listen to him. He wouldn't even be here if we did not embrace him. I understand you are here. Hold on.
Do you see the men looking at you? And do you see the women looking at you?
Hold on. So,
that's
Sean, I need you to hear me.
I'm listening.
Sean, hold on. I need you to hear me.
I heard you. I'm listening.
We have 40 years on this screen. 40 years on this screen. And no disrespect to you. You're only 2 weeks in.
Okay.
No disrespect to you. You're only 2 weeks in.
40 years has it changed?
We have 40 years on this. We are 40 years on this screen. And we embrace this brother with every bit of his love, every bit of respect, every bit of understanding, every bit of anything of emotion. We love him, embrace him, we let him speak, we let him be who he is. Right now, we was having jokes. That's why KY is popped on. Because we're having jokes. This is love here. A lot of love.
You ain't going nowhere.
Bit of it.
Yeah, I gotta go.
And when he sword, when he picked out his sword is his surrender.
He put my conscience on the screen, so I gotta go.
His surrender. Because he hears every bit of what we're saying. He can listen to every single one of us. He will take it, he will digest it. He will roll it around his head. He will roll it around his heart. And he will come back next week a brand new man because he needs a minute to roll it around in his tongue. He needs a minute to roll it around in his head. This is love here. This is love.
And at
no love this brother right here.
At no point did Father Wise.
There's no animosity, no challenge, every kind of love.
Herman, can you answer me? Why were you shaking your head?
Oh, hold on. Go ahead, Kay. I answer that before the case finished.
First of all, peace and blessings, everyone.
Peace and blessings, God.
Hey, Barry White. Here he go. Here we go. Hey, peace and blessings. You know how we do in the universe, Lord. I'm just saying,
no matter what, I got hugs for you. Don't be a sensitive thug. Get a good hug. It's all good.
Don't be a sensitive thug. I can't with y'all.
First of all, I want to apologize. I'm my sinuses just got hit me. The change in the weather down here is like hits me bad, but it's all good. I had to come on because I was hearing it. And yo, it's just my brother. You are very unique. There's no one like you, and there will never be another. You know, and your story is your story. Okay. And as you share it, we all are embracing it and giving it our own viewpoints from everybody. Where you stand at it from your standpoint, nobody can take it away from you, but it's just adding on knowledge as we add knowledge on, to what we do. Love, hella right. You see what I'm saying? And the thing that I'm hearing all the queens on the panel reaching out to give you, they love, they understand from a different viewpoint of hearing you. And within it, that wall that you got up, that wall that you got up, girl, comes from a long history. A long history. And like I said, hey, we talking culture years, what she just said. You understand what I'm saying? So that's a long time. Your wall is higher than the Tower of Babel right now. You know what I'm saying? But it can be broken. But it's only going to be broken when you're ready to break the wall down, and they have a powerful wisdom that's going to break that wall down with you together. and build you a new temple.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And so I listen, I love everybody from the depth of my heart. I give everybody that love and respect first off the bat. What you choose to do with it on that end, show me where you gonna stand with me after that. You know, but y'all funny. Y'all funny. And, but listen, this is definitely food for the table that everybody that's listening and watching needs to eat on. I saw a lot of comments coming from a couple of the people that was addressing as you were speaking, and they were saying some very positive attributes. What I have to disagree with on one of them, one of the persons said you're being selfish. I don't look at it as being selfish because, like, again, your story is your story of how you feel. So for the person to say they're selfish, they never walked your shoes. They should have an open understanding to where, or try to have a better time of opening their ear to what you're saying. Because right now, in a sense, your cry for help is telling your story the way that you're doing it. And it's however you're going to take your walk and live in it, you got to watch, again, it's all about how we're going to treat everybody, how we want people to treat us. You know what I'm saying? So right now, this is you, and we got that. But I know for a fact, to me, at 40 years, I know there's even a better you from me every time we meet. It's always been a better you. It's a better you every time we build. So what you telling them, you know,
and that's why I said I gotta go. Because I'm not trying to hear all that right now. I want to sit right here in my man box and be mad. I don't need all that.
Well, guess what? I'm in your man box with you.
Okay.
I don't know what you thought. You thought you was in my man box.
Now, Sean.
No,
Mel,
you see,
you want to go, Mel?
Mel and Tanya didn't say nothing. So why y'all gotta be all up on me? Leave me.
We riding together. Like we all know this.
We riding together.
I'm about to bring it home. Yasha, I'm about to bring it home. Let Mel go.
I know you 40 years.
I know
you 40 years. I've known you 40 years. Okay. I get it. Like, I get it. Y'all know me. Y'all know me. So, but I'm just saying, like, just let me be in my little water. This is why I want to be in my man cave with my sword and my goddamn, I'm ready. I just ain't with my other stuff and my crossbow and my guards. I just let me sit right here. I'll come out later. I'll come out to play when I'm ready, but right now I don't like playing with nobody.
Father, you know who you remind me of? I remember Angry Man on Martin at the post office.
I was just thinking about I was thinking about the two old white guys at the end of the Muppets. What'd you say, Lisa?
Oh no.
What happened?
I haven't seen the two old guys from the end of the Muppets.
Oh, from the Muppets?
He said he was thinking about the two old guys at the end of the Muppets. Yeah.
Oh, that's me. One of the grumpy men from the Muppets.
That's you all there.
That sit up in the balcony, always got something to say. Grumpy ass old
man.
Right.
Look, he know who he is.
Or Oscar the Grouch from the
Sesame. That's my man. Oscar was my man.
Yeah, I get all those. Like, people say that to me all the time. Angry man, like I get that all the time, but I'm not angry. I'm just in a place that's just like I don't know. It's not anger. I'm not angry. Right?
It's not.
It's not.
You're just being with all people, and it's okay.
Yeah.
So, but I accept them accountability for that. I'm accepting accountability for who I am. And I don't
King Herm, bring it on home, King Herm.
You want to bring it on home? You want to bring it on home? Okay.
All right.
So we started.
Let me
go. There you go.
I have one thing I wanted to say.
Go ahead, Mel. I got you.
I'm gonna make this fast. I promise.
No, make it slow, Mel. Take your time.
So
no, I want to hear from you. So go slow.
No, and I really enjoy this, but I know somebody mentioned something about forgiveness, and I just feel like that resonated with me a lot. So I wanted to talk about that real quick. Like, having been through a really negative and bad relationship, and in the last couple of years, like Yasa knows a lot of it, but went through a lot with my family. I'm still trying to forgive people in my family for things that they did to me. And it takes a lot. And I think it's worse when it's family, because you come into the world with the notion that the family that you are born into is supposed to protect you and guide you and support you and all that stuff. And last year I buried my mother. And that took me out. I'm still dealing with that. I think I'm gonna be dealing with that forever. But in the process of her being sick, I have family turn against me. Like, it was crazy. I had family that I've known for years that had a hand in raising me and, you know, lived in my house at one point, turn against me. And I think I'm still in the process of trying to forgive her. I know, like, the Bible talks about forgiveness, and I'm heavy on that, and that's how I was raised and whatnot. But forgiveness is a process, and sometimes it's a very long process. It doesn't necessarily come, you know, because somebody says, "Oh, you got to forgive," because, you know, you watch Tyler Perry movies and you got to forgive because, you know, if you don't forgive, it takes, you know, a lot of energy out of you. It takes a lot of power. Those who make you angry have control over you, and all of that is very true. But it also is a process. Like, it took me a very, very long time to forgive the father of my children. Very long time. I'm talking years. And my daughter is 10 now, and my son is 12. And we broke up when I was pregnant with my daughter for him to have another baby on me. So it just, like, that took me out. It took years, to the point where one night I was doing an overnight job. My daughter had to be maybe 5 at the time. And I had to call him and just let him know. I didn't need him to apologize, but I had to call him and let him know, like, look, I went through my stuff. It was a process. I had to go through my, you know, just the counseling and the praying and the meditation and getting close to God again and all of this stuff. And I had to call him and just say, like, look, I forgive you. I don't even need you to realize what I'm talking about right now. I'm just letting you know that I have to forgive you because I have to do it for me. But it was a process and a journey I had to take for myself. You know, because sometimes people will do you wrong and they won't even apologize. Sometimes people are never going to apologize. You're never going to get an apology out of folks. And it's just an unfortunate part of life. And then he was like, well, you know, what are you talking about? I was like, bro, you know what you did, but honestly, I don't even need you to reiterate what you did. I just need you to know that where I am right now, I forgive you, and I forgive myself too for allowing myself to stay in that situation and not realize my damn worth, because I was raised by a king and a queen. My mother and father loved each other. I was fortunate enough to grow up around that love and see them in the house loving on one another. My father died when I was 14. My mom died last year. So, you know, I've seen that growing up, but I didn't give myself what I knew I deserved. So forgiveness is a process. It's not just one stream. Like, it's so many different facets that are coming to forgiveness. I just wanted to put that out there. So otherwise, and everybody, you know, I support you on that journey, because I know it's hard when you've been through trauma. Like, it takes a long time, sometimes years and years, for you to really get past it and say, like, I'm at a good place right now where I've forgiven everybody. We might not be there right away, but eventually we'll get there. It takes time.
Well, I'm glad you're at peace with that. And
thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Mel, I appreciate you. Here's a hug.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all as well. Thank you so much.
All right. So, oh man, how do
Bring
you
it on
follow
home,
that?
Herm. Bring it on home.
How do you follow that? You know what I'm saying? I'm ready just to pack up and walk. You know what I'm saying? But what I really want to say is that we call this show "Where's My King? Where's My Queen?" Right? And what we just saw between Father Wise and Angie was exactly what a king and queen and the support, how it works.
Yes.
You know, y'all were looking at Father Wise, like, you know, in the beginning saying, like, nah, he's not, he's not breaking. But Sean, the reason why I have my face like that is because one man to another man knows that, you know what, he's processing it and he's actually changing. Yeah. But the support that Angie and Ilyasah gave him, absolutely, that's what is kind of missing, or the disconnect that we've been talking about, you know, Yasa, that some men and women, they don't have, and then, you know, they get upset, and you know, Father Wise could have been like, Angie, you don't understand me, leave me alone, and just walk out. But Angie stood there stood in the gap, and then that's that connection. So that's the highlight, and we broke it down. Father Wise is healing. You know, people think the wall's not as high as it is. He's healing.
Of course.
You know, and we see this every week, every time we speak.
Every week.
And you know, and like I said, we breaking barriers. When I see the lightsaber, that's how I know, you know, everything's safe.
Yeah.
Some people see the lightsaber be like this. Oh no, he gonna cut me, but no.
That's what that means, right?
But you know, he's a warrior.
Somebody done penetrated.
You know, and Mel, I understand what you've been through. I'm actually going through that now and healing myself to where my wife had me locked up. And it took every ounce for me to forgive her, you know, sitting in the jail cell, crying to the Lord, like, yo, Lord, you gotta please take this away from me. Because you know, as soon as I get out, I'm ready to, you know, and so like right now, I'm in court fighting to get the judge to release the order of protection against me so I can see my daughter. Last week was her birthday, and you know, this is the first birthday I'm not with her. So, you know, like I said, it does hurt, but and like you said, just forgiving people, I was like, I got to, because if I hold on to it, my thinking and my rationale, I'm a different beast. You know, but then if I go that route, then I can't be effective in the school system where I teach, to the boys I mentor, to the kids I coach, to the young ladies that I adopt as my daughters, you know? So that's where it comes down to me taking my responsibility. Now, I did, like I said, apologize before it even went that way and try to do everything and take my accountability. But when it was looked at as a laugh, you know, while we in the counselor's office, and I'm just looking like this, no, she didn't. And then next thing, you know, take away, well, you can't do this, I'm not giving you nothing. Then, you know, and just taking that, dealing with that, and you know, just continuing to go forward. But at the same time, you know, looking to heal and looking for that, you know, that counterpart that, you know, understands that and not trying to bring that into the next relationship. Because you know, like I said, we just continue to heal and we can just continue to grow and share our story, because we never know who needs to hear this. So, Mel, I appreciate you. For all the Wise, appreciate you. Angie, you already know. Sean, Tanya, Kate Wise, Ilyasa. So that's me bringing it home. And this has been brought to you by Where's My King, Where's My Queen?
On the charge. On
the charge.
Again, as always, I want to thank everyone for coming on. It is always a pleasure. It is always a pleasure. It is always a pleasure to listen. It's always a pleasure to speak. It's a pleasure to laugh. It's a pleasure to virtual, you know, and you know how we all do, right? It's a pleasure for every week for that for me, because every week, just like King Herman said, we are healing. We are healing. If it doesn't happen this second, it's okay. If it doesn't happen this minute, it's okay. If it doesn't happen today, it's okay. It's okay to be where you are. To be everybody where they are. Because you can't put yourself into somebody else's shoes, because you didn't walk that lane. You didn't walk where they walked. You have your journey. The next person has theirs. But it's also to respect that journey. But it's okay to laugh. Everything doesn't have to be serious.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay to crack jokes, and that will be jokes, because it's not serious, but it doesn't have to be so serious that we can't laugh, we can't love in the laughter, that we can't crack. We gotta crack jokes so we don't have to cry, because it's not always about, oh, this and oh that, and I'm angry. Listen, you can be angry. You have a right to be angry. If you don't want to forgive right now, it's okay. You have a right to do that. That is your journey. We are to respect everybody where we are, not just on the panel, but off the panel. Anybody you encounter, because it's okay. And when that person is ready, they are going to lift up. And they are going to be everything that they want to be in time. However, God gives us a place in our life. He has so many things for us. And a lot of times when we sit with a spirit of heaviness on our hearts, we are not allowing ourselves to receive our blessings. Because a lot of times we'll be stuck in a situation where God has already freed us.
Amen.
But it's us and our mindsets that hold us back from receiving the release that we already have. God gives us power to be who we want to be. He gives us power to say what we want to say, to do what we want to do. Because if you can vision, you can do it. If you can see yourself retired, living in Delaware with the wife of your choice, that means you can do it. If you see yourself as an entrepreneur with your own business that you wanted all your life and you don't have the means today, that doesn't mean it can't happen. If you can vision it, you could do it. If you never could have children and you want children so bad, doesn't mean that you cannot have children. You have to know, believe, and pray that it can happen. You may not be able to physically have children, but God will bless you with a child. So sometimes we have to shift out of our concrete steps of where we feel we should have. This is what I want. Yes, it may be what you want, but you may not get it the exact steps that you have in mind. Because God will give you angels and give you miracles, signs, and wonders that He's the one in charge, not us. We have the power within us to do anything we want to do. However, when you rock with the spirit of forgiveness, you will release yourself from a weight that you have walking around with and the blessings that you are holding yourself back from. It's going to be a harder road. We're not saying that or even interfering on how you feel. But love is what we need to have in our hearts. Period. Because we walk with love, we move with love. We just kind of love. We deserve it. So I love all of y'all from a mountaintop. And I give virtual hugs and loves all the time to y'all. Hugs and kisses, right? So I thank everyone for coming on tonight. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate every guest on the line watching. And all the awesome encouragement and giving to you every single day. Because it's definitely, like KY said, it's food for thought. It's food on this table. And we want everybody to eat. So with that being said, we wish everybody a grand night. And we are closing this live broadcast right now. So don't forget to follow us on Facebook, The Charge Room. Don't forget to on IG. Don't forget to follow, subscribe to us on YouTube, right? because I don't want you to miss not another notification that we are on air. Come eat with us and let's all heal together. Again, my name is Eliasa Simpson, aka as Minister Charge of the Charge Room, and I wish everybody a good night.
Good night. Love to all.
Thank you. Yeah.
Infinity times infinity.
We off the air now?
Not yet.